What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing the Chicago Bulls and, of course, the thing that we all expected to see as our season has come to an end, the Artūras Karnišovas press conference. Now, I personally did not watch the press conference, but there is a lot of tweets over the last day that's suggesting what the conference was all about. Thankfully, Casey Johnson, a very well-respected Bulls analyst, has basically tweeted a lot of the quotes that he found interesting. So what I'm going to do is read through those and give my opinions on it in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, the press conference, and whether or not you believe the things that's coming out of Artūras Karnišovas' mouth, the executive vice president of the Chicago Bulls. Here's what he had to say firstly, and it's quite an interesting quote here. He says, "Any season that doesn't end in deep playoffs requires total examination. We're not here for the play-in. We have to make changes. While I could be happy with individual growth, I won't be happy until we bring a championship to the city of Chicago." He then goes out to say, "We can't roll with the same team and expect different results." The irony, the pure irony in that comment is outstanding. It's almost delusional in many ways, but I'm not going to sit here and disrespect Artūras Karnišovas. But out of all people, that's saying we can't roll with the same team and expect different results. And that's exactly what you did. The irony in that statement is insane. We had so many opportunities to change this team last season. We could have traded DeRozan. We could have not brought back Vucevic. We could have traded Levine when he asked for the trade. We could have, done anything. We could have literally done anything. Literally anything. And we kept the team the same. It's crazy that the person that's telling us that is the same person that just said we can't roll with the same team and expect different results. So you knew this from the very beginning. You must have known this was going to happen. It's crazy what a year of basketball could do to someone, but that's wow. Like, genuinely wow. A lot of irony there. Nonetheless, of course, I'm very happy when he says he will not be satisfied until he brings a championship into Chicago. But now it's time to really take the next step in doing that. And that does require changes. And I'm not talking about these small, microscopic changes that does little to nothing to the team. You do have to make some big, groundbreaking changes. And looking at some of the other tweets and comments that's going on, it doesn't suggest we're even heading in that direction. So let's keep going. Artūras Karnišovas also says something on the lines of, giving Billy Donovan the assets that he needs in order to compete. Basically suggesting it is not Billy Donovan's fault for what went wrong this season, and that the management, AK, and everybody else that works there needs to do a better job in bringing him the assets. Well, I hope this is true, but I think we have all seen what Billy Donovan is as the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. Am I saying he could be a better head coach with better assets? Sure. You could say that with any head coach. There's a lot of mediocre head coaches that, based on talent alone, can get them championships. I think Billy Donovan is a solid coach. Is he the right coach for the Bulls? I still don't believe he is. But I believe he's better than a lot of coaches out there. The only difference is, maybe we don't have the talent. But I still don't think he's the right head coach for the Bulls. And if I had the choice, I would still consider getting rid of him. But it looks like from that comment alone, basically saying it's not Billy Donovan's fault, giving Billy Donovan a lot of strong praise this season, and suggesting that it's the management fault for, I guess, how the season ended up being, suggests to me that Billy Donovan's going to be here for a while, and that we're going to have to deal with more Billy Donovan seasons with the Chicago Bulls. So that's definitely not going to be a good sight and good news for a lot of people, but that's the reality we have to face. So all I could say is, if we're going to have to deal with Billy Donovan and his coaching style for another few seasons, I sincerely hope AK is right in saying that the assets that we're bringing him is why it's not working. So make the changes then. But still, does that necessarily reflect change for the Chicago Bulls, keeping the head coach in charge and is disappointed for the past 2 seasons? Saying one thing and then it completely goes into a different topic when it comes to Billy Donovan. He did say a little bit more. When asked about DeMar DeRozan, he said both sides are interested in continuing when it comes to an extension for DeMar DeRozan. But as far as I'm aware, the reports are still suggesting that they're a bit further away in terms of actually reaching that agreement. It looks like DeMar DeRozan wants more money, and wants more years. You know, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve those things, but I'm saying if the Bulls are really going to try and change the identity of this team, do you want to give DeMar DeRozan more years and more money? You know, I understand there's going to be an increase in the salary cap, I believe, so giving him more money might not be the worst decision you'll ever make, but it still begs the question, you know, if you're really trying to change something, if you're really trying to change the identity of the team, trying to change the core of the team, trying to change the structure of the team, trying to make this team better, we talked about two people right there that we're going to be keeping. So, you know, where's the change going to come from? Is it going to be coming from guys that are excluded from DeMar DeRozan or Billy Donovan? Or is it going to be one of those guys? We just don't know it yet. So far, it's looking like the Bulls want to keep Billy Donovan, keep DeMar DeRozan. Well, I hate to break it to you, and look, I like DeMar DeRozan, and I say this with all due respect, but if you're looking to change the team and you want to re-sign DeMar DeRozan sums up the bulk of what this team is. You know, he's a good, talented player, but at the end of the day, his style of play does dictate how everybody else on this Bulls team likes to play, and I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. So that's another question we have to start asking ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll have to wait and see. They're still far away from my understanding on the actual agreements. Something might change along the way. And if we re-sign DeMar DeRozan, I'm not going to be miserable. But I do beg the question, is that the right avenue we want to go down? It says here from Casey Johnson, Artūras Karnišovas largely avoids a question about how to approach the business end of the Lonzo Ball situation, saying they'll know from a basketball injury standpoint over the coming months. I don't necessarily understand any of what this means. My standpoint on Lonzo Ball stands the same. We are going to keep him next season. He's going to accept his player option, and there's a very good chance he'll be coming off the bench for the Bulls next season if he's available to play. I don't understand what other avenue we can go down. I don't think there's trade options for Lonzo Ball, and I don't think Lonzo Ball's going to turn down $21 million. I just don't think that's going to happen, especially with him being out for over 2 seasons. So yes, you know, we might have to figure it out, sure, but I don't even know why this question was asked in many ways. I only see one way this goes, and it goes with Lonzo Ball being a Chicago Bull next season, whether we like it or not. So that's something else that he talked about. He took accountability, of course. He said he has to do his job better, and he has to be, you know, and he said the ownership expects better results. Again, I'll believe it when I see it. That's the type of situation. We can't be sitting here saying the ownership is expecting this, expecting that, expecting this. We know this ownership at the end of the day. I'll believe it when I see it. That's the next step. He hopes to re-sign Patrick Williams. Well, again, depending on how much you're going to give to DeMar DeRozan, keeping Patrick Williams might be a struggle. I guess that really depends on restricted free agency. I don't have too much to say about that. I don't mind keeping Patrick Williams. But again, that's 3 players that we're going to be keeping. Is that necessarily change? That's another question I'm going to start asking you guys. Artūras Karnišovas believes Coby White is the league's most improved player and far away from being the final product. Again, one of the saving graces of this season was Coby White. The fact that we even got to the 9th seed with all the season-ending injuries we sustained is a huge testament to Coby White's development this season. And yes, he does look like he's far away from the final product. He's had great games. He's had some bad ones as well. But the learning process is going to be fantastic to see. And then lastly, he did say this group hasn't worked. So look, it just boggles my mind. Look, I'm going to be so excited for the offseason because I don't know what changes are going to be made when he's saying he wants to keep DeMar DeRozan, he wants to keep Billy Donovan, he's going to re-sign Patrick Williams, you know, and all these things. And then at the end of the day, he's saying this group hasn't worked. I'm going to be so intrigued because it does seem like to me he wants to make changes from the basis of we can't keep the team the same and expect different results and this group hasn't worked together. That sounds like, all right, change is coming. That's exactly what we want. But then we need to re-sign DeMar. We need to keep Billy Donovan. We need to re-sign Patrick Williams. We re-signed Vucevic last year. I don't know how this is going to go. It's going to be a very interesting offseason. Let's hope it does work out for the better for the Bulls and we have a product and a team to be excited for next season. But that's the summary of what AK was saying in the Bulls press conference. I'm sure there's more. Let me know in the comments below if there is more. Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.